Hello, how are you? This is Rachel from sweetbeepaperco. I am here with week 10 of my Summer Fun Ephemera Challenge. Make sure you use hashtag Summer Fun Ephemera and anything you make. Tag me so I can see. I definitely want to see. I've been reposting them on my Instagram. Make sure you are following me on there. Link is down below. So week 10, we are making ruffle tabs, and we are making them out of paper, ribbon, and some kind of additional decoration. So I've got some tissue paper out. I have some napkin pieces to use, some crepe paper. I've got some fabric tack. I've got some glue stick. I've got some tacky glue. And you're also going to need some kind of lace or trim for the middle part, which I will show you. And then some kind of backing. So I am using a scrap piece of cardstock. So let's get started. I'm mainly going to show you how to prep your strips to use for this. Okay, so this isn't a super long video, but I'm just going to take my cardstock and I'm cutting about a 1/2 inch strip off. So you can trim this down further if you want. You can leave it as long as you want for now. I will show you why in a second, why it kind of doesn't matter, because you can always trim them down. So next, if you are using, next if you're going to use tissue paper, I have a piece of tissue paper here. I've already cut a couple of strips off of it. So I have kept it folded in half. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to cut about a 2-inch, the worst time, a 2-inch strip off of this tissue paper. And that's with it folded. It's just a little bit easier to cut, so you're cutting through the 2 layers. So here's my strip all ready to go. For napkins, I already have the backings taken off of these. Here is one. Here, it's just a piece of one of the larger, like, luncheon napkins. So I'm just going to fold that back up. And same thing, I'm just going to cut about a 2-inch strip. There we go. You can make these as wide or as skinny as you want. I found around 2 inches worked the best for me. And this is just another napkin. Okay, so for crepe paper, really don't have much to prep with this. You can tear off about a 12-inch chunk just so it's a little bit easier to work with. Or you can work with it off of the roll. So I've got pink and white, and I also took some of the white and sprayed it with some of my instant coffee mixture that I keep in the fridge. So that might be kind of cute too. You're covering up quite a bit, so the edges are usually just kind of sticking out the most. So I have been just using some distress ink on the edges, and that's kind of saved me the time because I had to let this air dry. So that is an option if you are kind of looking for that. Or I could have sprayed more of the coffee on there too. Okay, so next we'll do the first one with tissue paper. I really think that using a glue stick for this part just works so much better. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to take the strip of cardstock I already cut and just kind of put some of that glue stick on there. So I've got this scrap magazine here. I'm going to move it off of where I put the glue stick on so there's not glue on each side of that. Now to get these started, what I like to do is kind of scrunch up the beginning and just kind of stick it on there in the middle. So there's two ways you can do this. I'll try to hurry before my glue dries. You can hold it in one hand and then just kind of ruffle it on there. So I'm just moving my right hand back and just kind of folding it a little bit and pressing down. Just like that along this. So I'm just like what I just showed. I'm just moving my right hand back and just kind of folding it over itself and pushing it down. Oop, my glue is starting to dry. So there's that. I kind of like holding it. I feel like I get a little bit more control over what the ruffles look like. But we're also, you know, it's also fun to go for a messy look as well. So next I will show you that if you have it laying down. So I'm just going to take the glue stick and put some more glue on it. And if you're working with like a long piece like this, that might be easier to work in smaller chunks. So this, I'm just kind of using my thumbs to pull up on the tissue paper and squish it down. So I'm just holding it with my index fingers and pulling up with my thumbs and just squishing it to the glue. You can do the same method I was doing where you kind of fold it up here, but I think it's easier to just scooch it up. So I get a lot of smaller looking ruffles doing that, which I think looks really pretty too. And then for the rest of this, I'm just going to squish it on. Just pull up with my thumbs and squish. And then once you get all of your tissue paper or napkin or whatever it is on there, just make sure you push it down. And that's it for getting it on there. Isn't that cool? So this excess sticking off, I just kind of cut right underneath the tissue paper. There we go. And since the ruffles are kind of different on these, it's up to you if you want to trim it down at this stage or glue your lace on and trim that down later. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim it down now because I want to use two different pieces of lace. So now when you trim it and you have this piece kind of like this floppy on the side, you can use just a little bit of your glue stick to kind of just tack that down. The other side seems okay. And it's the same thing for when you do a napkin. This might be too small, but the napkins, though, when they get stuck, sometimes they get stuck. So just kind of squish it up at the beginning, get it started on there, and then just kind of pull it up and stick it. This one is super short, but you kind of get the idea. So this one I kind of glued it on a little crooked. That's okay. Don't worry about it too, because you can always take your scissors and go in and just kind of straighten it out or make it shorter. Like that one I kind of made a little too wide. And then you could also like kind of come in and do little snips along the sides if you want, or use some pinking shears or something to kind of give it a little bit more cuts in there too. But next, we'll take our ruffles, and now we want to add lace to them. So you could use some trim, some lace, some ribbon, some more lace. On these, I mean, that's totally up to you what you would like to use on them. So I have this lace that I found, I think, off of maybe Amazon or something. So I'm just going to kind of cut it to fit this. You can cut it to fitting over it. That's up to you. We'll just do this trim on this one since I have it out. This trim is so pretty. Okay, and then your glue choice at this stage is entirely up to you. I tried using both the Fabri-Tac and the tacky glue. I actually liked using the tacky glue a little better. So I got this Always Ready Eileen's tacky glue. We'll see about that. Are you ready? No, you're not ready. I really love this glue, but waiting... My other bottle is so old. It's really thick, and waiting for it to come down is annoying. So got this bottle to try. So all I do is just take my glue, do a line of glue across, and stick down my trim. The same thing for the lace. Sometimes if it's a wider lace, I'll kind of go back and forth a little bit. You don't need an awful lot of glue for these. And then what I like about the tacky, look at that, I set it up like that. Oops. Is with the tacky glue, I kind of smoothed it out a little bit. And this doesn't dry shiny. The Fabri-Tac and the other one dries shiny, and I'm not a fan of that. With the tacky glue, it really doesn't. So with these, I definitely would let them dry before you start auditioning something additional to put on them. Or you could just let them dry and then wait to put them in your, or wait to put an additional decoration until you know what page they're going on or whatever in your journal. But these are so cute. They're so simple. No sewing. I was trying to figure out which projects to do for this challenge, and I made one with a strip of paper, and I sewed it, and I put a button on it, and I'm not a fan of it. I really like the lace just kind of sewn down, and then, you know, that's all you've got to do. No sewing. Not everyone has a machine, so I kind of wanted to do something easier. Okay, so now let's look at these two. These two are already dry, so I'm ready to continue on with them. I used some some plain-ish tissue paper, and these turned out super cute. Okay, so next, this is optional too, but I think it looks really nice. I am going to take the Distress. I'm using walnut stain, and I'm just holding it in my hand and just kind of brushing it along the edges. And it just gives so much depth to these, depending on your tissue paper that you're using. I don't think maybe they all need it, but when I tried to do the napkins, it was just so difficult because the napkins are just so fragile. Do the sides. If you want to dirty up your fleece, you can. That's why I definitely like to wait till these are dry, because I don't want to get glue all over my dauber that's seen better days. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm just going to try to find things to put on there. So I've got these two little die cuts picked out. I think I am going to ink up the edges on this one. Maybe not that one. Which one do I want to do? So I just went through some random die cut packs that I had for these. You don't have to use a die cut. You could put a button on there. You could use some paper flowers or some fabric flowers. I just used a brad and put through 2 layers of them. And then you could just glue it on. You could do a stamp too. Whatever you like to do. A sticker. I will show you some things I did on the other ones. You could use something bigger than your ribbon, something smaller. That is totally up to you, however you want to decorate your little tissue paper ruffles. So I'm going to take a tacky glue and decide which way I want, or where I want my die cuts at. So I really like them kind of off to the side a little bit and maybe angled. So I'm just going to put, oh, look at that, some glue on there, kind of mostly in the middle, and just stick it on there like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so the little bee, I thought I kind of wanted to do the bee in the middle, but since these are kind of bigger, they just look so much better off to the side. Just going to add some glue to the middle of that. Ooh, that is so nice, just sitting it in there and it's ready to go. I will have this link down below in my Amazon links if you can't find it in your area. I love that. But there you go. So cute. And so like on this one, I used a sticker that says must be nice. I don't know why. But my thing with this one is I did put this on here crooked, the napkin. So I kind of want to just trim some of this napkin off. Oh, much better. And I think I'll trim some of this edge. So don't be afraid to kind of trim some of it down if it's just not looking right to you. But like I was saying, see, trying to do the napkins with the distress is just kind of hard. Not impossible, just a little hard. So let me show you all of the other ones I have made. I kind of showed this one already. This is the long boy. This is not going to fit in my container, but I didn't know if I wanted to chop it down into smaller ones yet, or kind of use it all along one page. We'll see. Showed you that one. So here's another one with paper flowers. So I used some ribbon on that one. I love this butterfly one. So I just picked some random lace and trims. I think that's a Tim Holtz die cut. Here's some my fake flowers. One of them, one of the little flowers fell off. I wonder who did that. Some orange kitty. But I did save the flower, took it off the green thing and put it on a brad like the paper ones. This napkin looks so cute on there. I don't know what I was thinking with this one. I'm not a huge fan of the die cuts. So this one with the trim, I didn't put anything on because this trim is kind of thick. I just didn't want to add to the bulk, you know what I mean? This was one of the first ones I did with Fabri-Tac underneath the lace. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's shiny under it and it kind of looks terrible. The rest of these, you can't even, I think that one I used Fabri-Tac too. A lot of these I used Fabri-Tac on at first. That might be tacky glue, and you can kind of see it under there, but it's not as shiny as that. But I love this one. too. I did a bunch of little ephemera, or 3 little ephemera pieces from a Tim Holtz pack on that one. No, this is the first one I did, and I just grabbed this sticker and stuck it on, and I don't know how how I feel about it, but I tried to do a ruffle with the ribbon on top, and it wasn't sticking down. It made too much bulk on it. I didn't like how it looked, but this is my favorite with a pink crepe paper, and the butterfly is so pretty. I thought about cutting this one down, but I just kind of like it like that. So these are pretty simple to make. It's just a little bit time consuming, and then just letting, you know, everything dry, but they're so cute. Love them so much. Okay, I think I found a page I want to put a ruffle on. It's this owl one. So I think I just kind of want to do a diagonal on the page there. That looks really cute. So I'm just going to get some glue on the back. And then just do kind of diagonal like that. Maybe I'll put a little, nope, that was quite enough. So then it's just kind of sticking out both the side and the top. That's so cute. I may have to trim that off a little bit. Actually, no, I think it's fine. That's really cute. Perfect. But I hope you liked this project. These are really fun. You can do so many different things with these. So have fun making them. Get out your tissue paper scraps, your napkin scraps, and just have fun. But before I go, let me get my list for what you will need for next week. Okay, so for week 11, you are going to need some postage stamps. So those could be real postage stamps, like used ones. You could use postage stamp stickers or die cut postage stamps, like fake ones. You're going to need some sort of fabric, like cheesecloth or fabric scraps or yarn. You're going to need some paper, like scrapbook paper, like your scrap box would be a good place to get some pieces from. So something with a design on it. And then some kind of other paper that has some texture to it, like crepe paper, tissue paper, napkins, rice paper, coffee filter, something like that. And then you're going to need something to attach. So either a glue, a stapler, or sewing machine. So yeah, so that is what you are going to need for week 11. I really hope you are enjoying doing this ephemera challenge with me this summer. We've got so many cool projects done. We are getting close to being finished with these, which kind of makes, well, I guess not super close, but we're getting there, which kind of makes me sad because this is so much fun, and so much fun to make all these cool little bits for our journals, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoy. Tag me if you make them, and I will see you next week. Bye!